Hi, everybody. Today we're going to take a quick look at the upcoming second Republican primary debate. So here's an article from CBS News. This completely sums it all up. It's next week, September 27th, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be at the Reagan Library. That is in Simi Valley, California. We've got Fox Business along with Univision. They're going to do the moderation. So what are the requirements for this debate? It's a little confusing. It's similar to the first debate, but for polling, you've got to have 3% in 2 national polls, or 3% in 1 national poll and 3% in 1 early state poll from 2 separate early voting states. Those would be Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. Apparently the threshold in the first debate was 1%, so now they've tripled that. They've upped it to 3%. Polls must be conducted on or after August 1st, and you've got until 48 hours before the debate to meet that polling requirement. There's also a donor requirement. They need a minimum of 50,000 unique donors, including at least 200 donors from 20 or more states or territories. In the first debate, this was 40,000, so they've ratcheted up 20%. It's up to 50,000. That could lead to a couple of candidates not making it this time. So who's going to be in on this debate? Well, it's not going to be Donald Trump. We'll come back to that in a minute. But we've got Ramaswamy, we've got Haley, Christie, Pence, DeSantis, and Tim Scott. There's 2 we're still waiting on that were in the first debate. That's Asa Hutchinson. That is Doug Burgum. Maybe they make it. Maybe they don't. I think it might be a little bit better with a couple fewer candidates, but that's just me. So who's moderating this debate? We've got Stuart Varney and Dana Perino from Fox Business. And then there is also someone from Univision. So what about Trump? What's he going to do? He didn't show up to the first one. Looks like he's not going to show up to the second one. He already didn't sign the loyalty pledge, so technically he's ineligible. He's stated that he has such a massive lead. There's really no point in him debating. I understand that sentiment. He probably does not stand to gain much in the polls, but for the sake of the process, for the voters, I'd like to see debates, unless they are actually fringe candidates with no chance. But here we've got some legitimate contenders. Some of them are polling at 5, 10, 15%. That to me is enough to want to see a debate. So last time Trump didn't debate, he did the interview with Tucker Carlson. What is he going to do this time? Well, here's a CNN article. It looks like Trump is going to be in Detroit. He's going to deliver a speech to current and former union members. Now, you've probably heard there's a United Auto Workers strike, and when that overlaps with politics, it can be challenging for both sides, since most of the public support seems to be with the union workers, and that's traditionally a group more aligned with the Democrats. So one might think this would be a layup for Biden to go all in on supporting the workers. It's also an opportunity for someone like Trump to make some sort of inroads with the labor movement. I'm sure a lot of those workers are skeptical to both sides. Other people might want to see the politicians maintain a neutral stance. They don't want to see them get involved in something like this. In addition to wages, there's also going to be the issues of electric vehicles and manufacturing. There are going to be a range of opinions, but this is a group that Biden needs to turn out and support him. I think if Trump peels off just a little bit of that support, that's going to go a long way. So there's a lot at stake here, but there is a response here from the UAW president. He says every fiber of our union is being poured into fighting the billionaire class and an economy that enriches people like Donald Trump at the expense of workers. He goes on to say in an emailed statement, we can't keep electing billionaires and millionaires that don't have any understanding what it is like to live paycheck to paycheck and struggle to get by, and expecting them to solve the problems of the working class. So that kind of reads as a rebuke of Trump. And if you're Trump, there's 2 ways to look at that. You could say, okay, I'm not wanted here, at least according to the leadership, which may or may not speak for everyone else, and go elsewhere. Or you could say, it might be a little hostile, but you're going to go in there anyway. You're going to make your case. And if you have small gains, that could be enough, and that would be a victory. So there's different ways to look at it. I'm sure Biden is thinking the same thing. He wants to be friendly to the workers, but doesn't want to be overly friendly, that it will alienate the donors and the corporate class. There's a lot of different things here. I usually say on this channel, the Democrats tend to do better on economic issues, but economics are not everything. On the cultural side, Republicans tend to do better. So even if Trump can't do as well as Biden on economics, if he leans in the right way and taps into some of the cultural concerns, that might be his better bet. But you never know. Maybe Trump does go much more in a populist economic direction, and he could get even more union support than I would expect. Maybe those workers are tired of Trump. Maybe they're tired of Biden. There's a lot going on out there, and a lot of different concerns people have. I'm going to assume there's a range of opinions, and we'll see what happens with the strike and how Trump and Biden respond to these workers. So back to the debates. One other thing to do is to see if anybody actually made any gains in the polling. Well, there's a table here in the top right on Wikipedia, and for all the fanfare about how heated the debate was and whoever stood out the most, there wasn't really much change. Everybody gained or lost 1 point or less, except Nikki Haley did go up 2.9 and Donald Trump went down 1.8. But even Ramaswamy, he was viewed as the standout candidate, looked like he was going to go up in the polls at least a few points. Somehow he's actually went down by 0.4%. The source on these is from Real Clear Politics, so not much happening after that first debate. Again, the second debate is here. The requirements are a little bit tougher. After this debate, looks like the next one is going to be all the way in November. It's going to be in Florida. So if anything is going to happen, it's probably going to be during this debate. We already had Suarez drop out, but it's inevitable there's going to be a waterfall of candidates that are going to drop out. Will Hurd could drop out before I even finish making this video. But the second debate, we're going to see if there's going to be anybody that's actually going to make a major splash. Maybe they're feeling the pressure. Maybe it's a go big or go home moment. I don't know what they could even do. Trump already does have a massive lead, but maybe it's in one of these candidates' interest to take a huge risk, see if it pays off. They probably figure they're going to drop out within the next month or two. So why not go all the way and see if you could shake things up? Maybe once there's fewer candidates on the stage, maybe only 4 or 5, then it'll be easier for someone to stand out. Maybe that does happen in the third debate, but at that point we are going to be much closer to the primaries, and unless something incredible happens, it looks like Trump is going to cruise to the nomination. But I always leave the door open for something unexpected to happen, and at least the Republicans are actually having some primary debates. I'd love to see that with the Democrats. There's so much desire for other candidates. I do think it's a disservice to the voters to not even present them with different options. But anyway, that's a quick look at what's going to happen next week at this second debate. Let me know in the comments. Are you going to watch this debate? What do you think is going to happen? Are Hutchinson and Burgum going to make it? What about this Trump speech to the auto workers? What does he have to do to make inroads? Let me know what you think down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.